All right, right now we're going to continue. Hopefully we did do this in class. I wanted to kind of give you guys kind of like a discover and explore activity of graphing parallel lines and then graphing a set of perpendicular lines and basically coming up with the connection of their slope. You can see right here on this sheet right here, we're talking about parallel lines. So let's see here parallel lines. Let's use a different color. I don't want to use black. It's too boring. All right, let's go to green. So parallel lines, here's the main thing. When you graph parallel lines, now obviously, like here's an example. If I graph parallel lines, here's a line that's parallel to it. Now, number one, these are going to be points that don't touch, they don't intersect. But here's the main thing. When we graph these, hopefully we did these in class, we figured out or discovered that they have the same slope. So that's going to be the main thing. Here's an example. These are two lines. And if I graph these, I know right away that they're never going to intersect because they have the same slope of 3. So they're never going to hit. And it even has here, slope for each line is 3, so therefore we conclude that they're parallel. All right, there's two problems on here where we want to get an equation of a parallel line. Let's just do number 1, and then we'll go to the next page and work with perpendicular lines. You can kind of see the directions. We want to put it first in point slope form and then slope intercept form. We could take the shortcut if we do have the y-intercept, but we see for this one right here, this point it goes through, x is not 0, so it's not a y-intercept. So I want to come up with a line that's parallel to this, but it passes through this point. First thing, the main thing is this. This is the main thing. They have the same slope. I look at this line, the slope is this right here. That's m, right, mx plus b. So I'm going to put that m of the line of which I'm going to find the slope-intercept form is 2. And it goes through this point, 3, negative 1. I could say this 3 is x sub 1. This negative 1 is y sub 1. Now when I do part A, I'm putting this in point slope form because I don't have the y-intercept. So I'm going to have y minus this right here, y minus negative 1. So y minus negative 1 is y plus 1. It equals m, which is 2 times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Here's x sub 1, 3, so it's x minus 3. So that's part A, and then to get it in slope-intercept form, I want to solve for y. So let's move up so we can see the work. First thing we do, we were going to distribute this 2, so I'm going to have 2x. Then 2 times this negative 3 is negative 6. Left side, I just bring down the y plus 1. Then just to get y by itself, I subtract 1 both sides, subtract 1 here, and we have our line y equals 2x, and negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7, and there's our answer. So you see my slope is 2. For this, the y-intercept's negative 7, and there it is right there. Okay, let's go to the next side. Number 2 we'll do in class. Let's go to perpendicular lines. All right, perpendicular lines, here's the main thing. Main thing is what's listed here. The connection with the slope of perpendicular lines is that they have the opposite reciprocal. Reciprocal means we flip the fraction. Here's an example right here. If you graph these two lines, they would intersect. This is what it would look like. One line, would probably look something like this, and the other line would probably look something like this. Now you can see when I draw this, this line has a positive slope because it goes up left to right. This line goes down, right? This line goes down left to right. So this has a negative slope. So perpendicular lines, one's always going to be positive, one's going to be negative, unless they're just horizontal and vertical lines. Then it's either 0 or undefined. All right, so if we look at these, we have 2/3. If I flip that, it's the 3 over 2, but I take the negative of it, so it's negative 3/2. So these lines are perpendicular. So opposite reciprocal is what you want to remember. So there's maybe a little bit more thinking with perpendicular than there is with parallel, but not a whole lot more. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on the front, except now they're going to be perpendicular. So when I do this one right here, I want to find the equation of a line. It's perpendicular to this, and it passes through this point. Again, this point, this is not the y-intercept, so I have to do point slope form first, and then transform that into slope intercept. All right, so let's move this up. Okay, let's see here. Now the slope for this line is 2. the slope of the line that I want to find that's perpendicular to it, it's got to be the negative reciprocal of 2. Well, 2, don't forget the whole number, that's 2 over 1. So if we flip this, it's 1/2. But then I have to take the opposite of it. So it's going to be negative 1/2. So this is going to be the slope of the line that I want to find. And the 1, 2, right? 1 is x sub 1, 2 is y sub 1. And then I plug these numbers in for point slope form. So when I put it in point slope form, it's y minus 2 equals m, which is negative 1/2, times the quantity of x minus this x sub 1, which is this, which is 1, so it's x minus 1. Same exact 2 steps that I did on the front. I have to get rid of the parentheses. How do I do that? That's right, good old distributive property. So I have negative 1/2 times x, then negative 1/2 times negative 1. These two negatives, right? Multiplying these two negatives are going to cancel out. It's going to be positive. And well, 1/2 times 1 is just 1/2. And then the left side, I still have y minus 2. Then the last step, I add 2. That cancels. So just like that, I have y by itself. And then I add 2 to this right side. So I'm going to have y equals negative 1/2 x. And then when I add these, 1/2 plus 2 is just 2.5. So say plus 2.5. Or you could put, I guess the other thing you could put, I'll put it up here, y equals negative 1/2 x. This 2.5 as an improper fraction is 5 over 2. Either one is acceptable. So here it is. Let's see here if I put 1 negative, right? And there it is, okay? My slope's the negative reciprocal, and I got the new y-intercept, which is 2.5. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do, I guess it's what, 2 and 4 we'll do in class, and do a little bit more work with parallel and perpendicular lines. But the key part is remembering the slopes. Parallel lines, they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, they have the opposite reciprocal slope of each other. Ciao.